for listening to the show, well, those are your own.
Everybody.
Just keep in mind that the views, information, or opinions expressed on the Tuddle Daily Podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of our sponsors. Yeah, it's called free speech, people. Nobody's forcing you to listen. Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had.
Blah, 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 blah.
Tuddle in Florida.
From the Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
All right, guys. So I got to do this just to protect myself. I got to check the audio so I don't get into one of the situations that I did the other day. But I even tested it at the beginning of the show. Iggy T. Happy Monday, my friend. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. Glad you could catch the beginning of the show. So let's see how this sounds real quick. Oh, I don't even have the... See, I even screw up on that when I'm trying to do a test. Rodecaster Pro. Put that up there. Bluetooth. Put it up. I just want to see how this sounds. Come on. See, I even screw up on that. Oh, see, it's working. It is working. All right, good. I'm very, very happy. Thank you. Thank you, Iggy T. On today's show, I got Robin Orion coming up on the show. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm making fun of my guest before he even comes on. I'm not. But when I worked on the Drew Garabo show, there are those names. And if you're in the chat room right now, a couple of things. Please hit that like button. If you want to donate to the cause, no matter what platform you're on, you can do that. But I want to get your suggestions for names that could be for men or women. Because there's some of those names like, you know, now with social media and stuff, you can look up and see what the, gender is of your guest. But Robin is one of those names. At first, when I heard the name Robin Orion, I was like, oh, man, Vulture booked me a hot chick. And I looked, and it's a dude. But I wasn't disappointed because my guest, Robin Orion, he's a podcaster. He just wanted to get into radio, and I think he has been a broadcaster terrestrially. I'm going to have him on. I'm going to do the interview with him, but I wanted to do this with like some of the podcasters and content creators that I have on. If they're coming on, Nikki's another one. But we talked about this, Miss Amy Sinha. It's all about the spelling. Now, is Nicky a dude's name, or is it Nickie? And Robin, we talked about the 90s pop singer in the mid to late 90s, Robin, Robyn, Robin. That could be a guy or a girl's name, just like my guest, Robin, Robin, but hers is Robyn. So there's a lot of them that could be out there. I mean, you're right. I mean, what is Kim? Wait a minute. Kim for a first name could be a dude's name? Please. I need some explanation on that. William Degrasse says Kim. Now, Asian name, Kim, but I thought that was a last name. But I also know in the Asian culture, like they use last names first. So I'm not absolutely sure. I got the Google Voice up. If you'd like to call in, yeah, Billy's another one. Bille, Billie Eilish. Then you got Billy. My cousin's name is Billy. Billy. So Robin Orion's going to be on here, I think, at 6:30. With the invention of streaming TV, like there's a lot of shows that are out there, a lot of shows that are built up. And sometimes I don't know why it just takes me longer on some shows to get into them. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm one of those people that just wants to buck the the status quo or go into the popular, like, oh, I gotta watch this. For the longest time, it was Tiger King. Everybody wanted to watch Tiger King. Have you watched Tiger King? Did you see it yet? Like if you didn't watch these, current shows that are very, very popular, you were on the out. You weren't a cool person. And I've tried maybe 2 or 3 times to get into the show that I'm about to talk. Sam is another one, William Durgas. Sam. But I have gotten into the Peaky Blinders on Netflix. Cillian Murphy. A lot of people forget that he was in one of the Iggy T says Ashley. Ashley is definitely one of them. My producer Vulture is on my account and he's just being a dick now, and I'm all for it. I'm okay with having my balls busted. And Vulture says Pat is. Do you know how much my balls were busted in high school when do you guys remember that Saturday Night Live skit that the main character was Pat? And the whole gimmick with Pat was that you didn't know if Pat was a guy or a girl. Because it was one of the first gender fluid characters. And I don't understand why the LGBTQ community has not taken the Saturday Night Live character Pat and kind of make it an icon. Because that was still ahead of the time. And I got my balls busted. Because the whole thing, they had a little thing. It's Pat. And now looking back on it, a lot of the bullies, and if you're a parent, you should tell your kids this. Because I got bullied. I wasn't a fighter in high school, but I fought because I was bullied. The reason I fought was because my dad said that he would never, ever be mad at me for getting into a fight at school as long as I didn't start it. But if he heard that I was getting bullied and I didn't stand up for myself, my dad would get completely pissed off. I mean, he wouldn't beat me because I didn't stand up for myself, but he did. He told me that. He was like, I'm not going to be mad at you if you get into a fight and you get kicked out of school for a couple of days. And my dad always believed, even if you're smaller and a bully picks on you nonstop and he beats the ever living shit out of you. My dad told me bullies do not like to get punched in the nose. They don't like to get punched in the nose. And even though they beat the hell out of you, if you get that one good punch in, they're going to eventually learn, hey, I might not want to pick on this guy. And I did not win a lot of fights. Matter of fact, maybe 1, 2, 3 at pushing it. And I would, but back to that it's Pat thing. The other thing, I was cursed with a humongous oversized head. And a lot of the kids would call me headquarters. The students would come up to me, and it got really disrespectful because then some of the middle schoolers would try me. I went to a school. It was such a small town. A lot of the schools are ninth grade. High school is ninth to 12th. Not at our school. Our school was middle school, 6th grade to 12th grade. And people would try me until I started standing up for myself. I think a couple of the fights that I actually did win were 8th or 7th graders that had big brothers that would try me and would come up and salute me and say, reporting to headquarters. Yeah, I would beat the absolute piss out of the middle schoolers that would do that to me or throw punches or bully me. Those are the ones that I could fight and win. But I wasn't scared of the bigger, older kids as well too. But yeah, I would get pounded there. I would definitely get pounded there. But back to I digress. Like I'm in one of those moods that I'm going to be all over the place. But back to watching the shows. I've been watching Peaky Blinders, Cillian Murphy, Sam Neill. Those are the two big actors you guys would all know. Oh, Anna Joy Taylor. A lot of people watched The Queen's Gambit. She's in it as well. It took me a while to get into the show, but the show is brilliant. And like me being a nerd, I got to do research and see if the show that I'm watching is real or not. And I looked it up. And there was a Peaky Blinder gang in Birmingham, England. Now, you know how everything gets Hollywooded up, and it did with this show. But the Peaky Blinders, the real life Peaky Blinders, were not as cool. They didn't get all the women. They didn't get all that stuff. All right, Amy, Miss Amy Sinha, Vulture just said in the chat room, because I've been discussing Peaky Blinders with Amy, Miss Amy Sinha, and Amy, you need to tell Vulture, tell him it's good. He needs to sit down and watch it. But Cillian Murphy, he was in one of my favorite zombie movies. All right. Wait, the actor Finn Iggy. Hold on. See, now you're sidetracking me here now. Finn Cole. You got to look at who Finn Cole is. Oh, you're talking about Michael, Iggy. All right. So, Iggy, I've never been one of those guys that can't say. I will give you the list of, if I was a chick, of the characters on Peaky Blinders that I would like. Michael is definitely in my top 3. But the youngest brother of the Shelbys, the one that they married off. See, I'm still learning all the names, but the one that they married off to the gypsies to join the families, I like him. Michael's great. And you want to know what? I wish that, and I'm about to start season 3. Iggy, do you remember the black guy that works with Michael in the accountant area where they went into the bar? I mean, he's a pretty good looking lad as well too. And back in the day, in that time period, if there was a good looking not African American, no, they're in Great Britain, so why would it be that way? But a good looking black guy that was running with the well-respected family. Also, by the way, if Birmingham is supposed to be the S-hole where, everybody compares Birmingham to what it would be in the South here in the United States, those guys knew how to dress. They knew how to dress. And I talked to Amanda Bellinger, the woman that cuts my hair. I think he's in Peaky Blinders. Wait, I'm confused here, Iggy T. Who's in? All right. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Michael, the guy that plays Michael, I could definitely see what you're saying there, Iggy T. But get this, guys. Get this, guys. I want to share this. I can't see. I'm gonna have to share my screen. So I was wanting to research the real life Peaky Blinders when it came to the real life Peaky Blinders. Oh no, come on. Move this over here. So I look it up. They were not as romanticized in real life. Matter of fact, they did a lot of small crimes that you would think that a lot of people here in the United States, white trash people that are just taking advantage and stealing copper and stuff like that. Do you realize that a lot of the people in the real Peaky Blinders, guess what their last names were? Fowler. My last name, Fowler. And if you guys remember when I had Christina Brian Fitzgibbons on, she was the woman that specializes in DNA forensics. She, when my dad was sick and he was in hospice and I wanted to find out, get a family tree done and stuff, she was able to give me a lot of stuff. But she was also able to tell me a lot of my DNA came from the United Kingdom. Here, I'm going to show you guys this. And keep this in mind. The last remaining brother out of my dad's family, my Uncle Harold, he's the patriarch of the family. Now, I'm not saying that this guy is a patriarch of anything, but I want to introduce you to Harry. Wait, dude, where the hell did it go? I guess I got to bring this back up here. I want to introduce you to Babyface Harry, aka Harold Fowler, born in 1885. Had a round scar on his left cheek. His profession recorded as a barman. Now, Iggy, Miss Amy Sinha, they got to change some of the names. They got to change the names because you don't want any of these families from back in the day to come back and sue you and stuff. Harold Fowler was a barman. Tom Delaney coming in says F Peaky Blinders. But Harold Fowler was a barman. Iggy T, Amy Sinha. Do you guys remember the guy that was that owned the bar before Thomas Shelby took it over and gave it to his crazy, psychopathic, multi-personality brother? That guy's name was Harry Fenton. Last name starts with an F. And a lot of you guys are probably like, oh, you're just reaching. A lot of families like to overuse and reuse names. That's why you get a lot of juniors and the thirds and the fourths. Because not only are guys so egotistical that they need to pass on their last name, they got to give it to the next generation. They got to give it to the son. And I guarantee you there's a connection there. Now, I'm about to read you another story and I'm going to contact this woman. Because I actually think it would be pretty interesting. This woman that was related to Harold, and she's also the great-granddaughter or granddaughter of George Fowler. I'm going to read you this story here. Now, this is why I want to call this woman, because she's still alive, and I also want to get Brian Fitzgibbons on the case. DNA Sleuth, check her out. She's got a great podcast. But Midlands Police has unearthed new insight into the lives of the real Peaky Blinders after its history expert helped track down a relative of a gang member who was jailed for killing a Birmingham police officer in 1901. The BBC series returns to TV screens tonight for its 4th season, and it tells the story of a gangster family run by Thomas Shelby. But the fictional characters echo a truth that is just as dramatic, bloody, and compelling. Ahead of the eagerly awaited comeback, West Midlands Police helped unearth new insight to a band of 5 criminal brothers during a work on a heritage project that aims to transform Victorian cities in the Steelhouse Lane. I guess that's Birmingham. PC Charles Gunter died after being... So this is what it is. George Fowler, one of the 3 Peaky Blinders jailed for a killing of a 24-year-old Birmingham police officer in 1901. George's last name is Fowler. George's great-granddaughter, Miles... Hold on. I skipped the line here. PC Charles Gunter died after being hit on the head by a brick thrown by George Fowler and fellow gang members Joseph Aday, John Davis, in the Staniforth Street. Each of the men were jailed for 15 years for manslaughter after it couldn't be proved who hurled the fatal brick. Yeah. Now, I'm going to skip through because Harry, the one that looks like me, the guy that ended up, that I showed you the picture of, Harry, la- da- 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 da. Harry Fowler, photographed in a cap in a Steelhouse Lane lockup in 1904, having been arrested for bike theft. Yeah, Harry was doing some pussy ass crimes because he got arrested for bike. But Harold Fowler, now Miss Amy Sinha and Iggy T, you guys have watched the show. If you guys remember, Thomas Shelby and I think his brother were their thing in World War One was to build tunnels and trenches and stuff. The real life Harold Fowler, see, because they're taking a lot of stuff. Also, by the way, I did just read this. There was an Alfie Fowler. Now I know in the show. Oh, here we go. Robin, I'm gonna get back into this. Hold on. Let me get Robin on. Robin, how are you, my friend?
Hey, good afternoon, brother. How are you?
Doing wonderful, man. I'm getting into the. I'm finishing up a topic
Yeah,
right now. Have you watched the show Peaky Blinders at all?
I have not.
See, because I've been watching it, and I'm a big nerd, a big research nerd. I guess it is from doing radio and stuff. I like to do research and stuff. And when I went back and looked, the gang from Peaky Blinders, their last name was the same last name that I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm looking at it, and a lot of it meets up because I talked about this before you came on. Guys are so egotistical. Not only do they have to pass on their last name, they feel like they're less of a man if they don't like have a male son to be able to pass on the last name. They got to name their kids after themselves. Like that's why you get like a Tuddle or a Tuddle Junior or a Tuddle the Third. You know that's what it is. Why do you think men are that way?
I was this close to being a junior myself.
Oh,
It would have been terrible because my dad did not turn out to be the best father in America. But
so your dad, what do you mean? You can't throw that out there and your dad wasn't the best dad in America. I mean, are you being sarcastic or like was he a real dick?
to a point, but I'm a grown man wearing a leopard tracksuit right now. I think that tells you everything you need to know. But
did you have a good relationship with your father?
do I have a relationship with my father? Sure. I think everybody calls, their father on Father's Day.
A good one.
A good one? No, again, I'm a man in a leopard tracksuit right now. So no.
Hey, so you're bringing it out with the track leopard suit. Now,
Yeah.
I can ask, and when my producer sent the show prep and everything, were you joking around? Are you, and I'm a big supporter of the LGBTQ community, are you a gay man?
I am, yeah, on my website. Yeah, I'm out.
I just didn't know, like, if you were joking around or not.
No,
but, like,
no.
I didn't want to be offensive. No, are you one of those people that are hard to offend?
Oh, I'm impossible to offend. Don't worry about me. I'm a shock comedian. It's what I do over on RobinOrion.com.
All right, so Robin, before we get into the interview, and I'm going to talk about your content and your life and stuff, but my idea was because I've already planned the whole show and everything, and I got video and stuff to play. I thought maybe I would just like for you to come on and kind of riff with me a little bit on some of the topics, if that could be okay.
That's great. One of the things I do on my show, Riffing with Headlines, I'd love to do it with you. Let's do it.
All right. So, Robin, before we get into that, tell my audience a little bit about yourself and where they can find any of your content.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be the first comedian to make it on alt tech. That's BitChute, Gab, Rumble, all these new services that allow free speech. I can say whatever I want over there, and it feels great. I've been a comedy writer for some time, but with the pandemic, I figured it's time to go my own way, do it my way.
Yeah, man. I get what you're saying because I've been in terrestrial radio since 98 when I got out of high school. Took some time off after spending some time in a mental institution, but it kind of worked out because I was able to help out my parents and stuff during the pandemic.
Nice.
I was able to spend the last year of my dad's life with him. So that was a great thing. But, like it's great to be able to get out because it's been difficult creating a following. I already had a following
Yeah.
from my broadcasting days, but to be able to get out and control your own content and stuff, it's hard at first, but it's very rewarding.
Well, that was one thing Anthony Cumia said when he started Compound Media. When he left XM, he said he wanted to get Compound Media started with them within a month because they forget you immediately, unfortunately.
You follow a lot of Opie and Anthony and their friends and stuff?
Well, I'm from New England, so I kind of have a tendency to like Opie and
on
Anthony.
That Boston station, right?
That's right, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, the first radio show that I started out in radio with, intern-wise, Ron and Fez. I don't know if you ever heard of Ron and Fez.
Bennington, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Ron Bennington. You know, a lot of people think it's just because I worked with him, but he's one of the fastest, quickest comedians.
Yeah.
I've always said this about radio people. A lot of the hosts, they need show prep and stuff, but I've always said if you're going to take you could pick 3 radio hosts that you think are better than Ron Bennington and pit them up against him, and you just pull them out of nowhere and say, hey, you got to do an hour of radio, no show prep, no nothing. I think Bennington would probably be better than most.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that guy has control of it, not only just the room, but of the microphone. It's a simple enough to get control of a room. You've got one guy, maybe a third mic. It's easy to do that, but to stay on control of a mic, to carry a show for an hour without anything in front of you, it's not an easy thing to do.
Have you noticed, have you listened to any of his Unmasked shows that he does where he interviews the comedians? The one thing that's so brilliant about that show is that, you know, before radio, Ron was a very respected comedian. He's still a great comedian.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the interviews go so well, because a lot of these radio hosts, it's so different. Radio hosts, podcasters, they do comedy and stuff, but it's a different animal when it comes to stand-up, you know, because when you're doing radio and stuff, you don't hear the automatic reaction. Oh, was this joke good? You know, when you're on the radio, because you don't hear people laugh. When you're a stand-up comedian, you get to hear like, oh man, did this joke bomb?
Well, the biggest difference too is you've got to time that joke. When you're on radio, you've got to time it and anticipate, okay, is this a chuckle? Is this a belly laugh? What is it? And keep the flow going. You can't kill as a radio guy. That's 10 laughs a minute. It's almost impossible simply because it's so difficult to time it out.
So, Robin, some of the things that I've been talking about as of late, I would like to get your opinion on it real quick, just to make sure like where I stand with the rest of the content creators. What about this transgender swimmer that's up there at Penn in the Ivy League competing and stuff? Like, now remember, I'm on a bunch of different platforms. Right. There's some things you can or cannot say. So please, I would love to hear your opinion.
Well, she's built like a house. I can tell you that much. 6'1", not as sizable as the female college basketball player and female 6'8" Gabrielle Ludwig. That's a story for sure. But 6'1" Leah Thomas is one heck of a lady. I think it's unfair. Certainly. You can't. I have no problem with people being transgender. That's not the issue here.
Yeah, but well, I mean, my opinion has always been that, you know, are we willing to go so far one direction that we're basically telling everything that the women sacrifice to get equal rights and stuff? That doesn't matter.
Imagine if I tried out for the WNBA. I'm not a good basketball player.
You'd be laying up. You'd be doing layup after layup after layup on chicks.
Yeah, I would. And I haven't played basketball in 10 years. That's the sad reality of the situation. When you're born a certain way, you can't really go that other way and all of a sudden integrate naturally into women's sports. It just can't happen.
I've always said that there's got to be, like, you got to be on the hormones for some certain amount of time. And it shows a big commitment if you get certain things cut off, like, because there's no going back after that, right? Like, I mean, if you be like, all right, this shows some commitment.
Right. And I have friends that are transgendered women. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm a gay guy. We just mentioned that. When we talk about most transgender women don't have that surgery because it's a unbelievably expensive operation, Tuddle. Secondly, you can't go back, as you said.
No, you can't.
What would you do if you get it and all of a sudden be like, oh, this thing is not what I was expecting to have.
we had a radio guest on, Dr. Dan Diaco. He said it's easier to make a hole than it is to make a pole. Robin, I got to ask you this. There's regional differences, not only regional differences, north and south.
Yeah.
A lot of people think the South, especially white Southerners, are some of the most racist people. But I was like, look, I was married to an Italian. Italians are, some of the most, in general, are just as racist as some of the Southern supporters that still fly the rebel flag. How was it being a gay man up in that, northeastern area? More accepting than what you think it would be in the South?
Oh, I've never had any problems. Never had any problems. And I live in a more conservative part of New England. I'm in rural Maine. I'm in northern Maine. I don't have any problems.
How do you live in Maine?
It's not easy. So you have Portland, Maine down south. That's pretty easy. And then you have Bangor. That's where Stephen King lives. But then you go to the rest of the state. You keep going north. We have one road in and one road out.
Why? We have one road in, one road out in Florida. We got plenty of them. But guess what? We don't have to deal with the snow.
It's finally starting to melt out there, and it's still 4 or 5 feet of it. Still.
I cannot get behind something like that. And you Northerners, I wish you guys would decide on what you want and don't want. Like, if you want to live up north, be up there all year round. Don't come down here when the weather is crappy where you're at.
And we call it migrating, kind of just like the birds go down south for the winter. Yeah, exactly. It's a sign, if you have money, if you can afford to get out of here for the 6 months a year, that it's basically unlivable. That's how you know you've made it, is if you can afford to escape for 6 months a year.
Robin, when did you come out?
Oh, I've been out my whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that go? At what age did you?
God, 12, 13, I knew.
How did that conversation go?
There wasn't even a conversation. There was no need for me to come out. I would just be myself and do my own thing.
What do you, I don't understand though. Did the parents already know? Were you stereotypical, flamboyant? How did they know? Or why was it so easy?
At 16, 17, when I say this is my friend and I put my arm around him, I think my parents got the clue.
I put my arms around my friends and stuff. Were you grabbing their genitalia?
Not in front of my parents.
I kiss girlfriends and around my parents and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So more like that, not grabbing the dicks. Yeah.
No. All right. Top or bottom? Yeah.
What happens in the Orion bedroom stays in the Orion bedroom.
Okay. I just had to ask. So, give me an idea of some of the topics and stuff that you do cover on your show. What are some of the things you covered last week?
Well, last week I found a 700-pound adult entertainer. I obviously had to cover that. She makes a living making videos of herself eating. And it's the strangest phenomenon I've ever seen. I
love it. I fall asleep to that on stuff because they chew like cows chewing their cud and stuff, and it's just so relaxing to hear that.
Well, not from this broad, because she's making all these weird sounds and stuff. It's not a fun thing to look at, Tuddle. It really isn't. Another thing we covered, Starbucks is getting rid of their to-go cups permanently on very soon.
Yeah. It's great. Growing up in the South, everybody brought their own cups in to fill up their big gulps and stuff. So I got no problem with that.
I just can't imagine handing a to-go cup to the one person. She's handling a credit card and cash and touching all the other cups and not washing the cups. I just find it repulsive. Yes, that I can say I am.
You were in a mask and all that stuff around town during the pandemic?
I wear a mask when it feels socially acceptable, but I just can't imagine people, ruffling through the trash in their car, going through, finding their to-go cup, handing it to somebody. Ugh, gross.
Yeah. Well, Robin, before we go, tell my audience once again, if you ever want me to come on as like a talking head or a pundit on your show, feel free to invite me. I'd be more than willing to do that.
Sure, man. Yeah, I'm sure we can have that arranged. You betcha.
Tell my audience how they can check out the show and stuff.
Yeah, it's RobinOrion.com, Gab.com/RobinOrion. It's Twitter, but I'm allowed to tell whatever joke I want. It's beautiful. And BitChute.com. It's kind of like YouTube, but again, I'm allowed to say whatever I want. BitChute.com, search for Robin Orion.
So if you've done some stand-up comedy and stuff, like if I asked you to do open for a big name comic, and a second part of the question, who's the biggest person you've ever opened up for? But like, how many minutes could you give me?
Right now, at this point, fresh 15. Because again, I haven't written in 2 years. A lot of my stuff has been a little out of date because the clubs haven't been open. Those big corporate clubs are still open where you see those A-list guys. But the smaller guys, the guys that I would write for that would do 15, 30, on a Thursday night, those are gone. They're gone.
Yeah, I mean, do you talk about picking up dudes and stuff, or like, no, seriously, like, okay, here, like,
Yeah.
I want to play this out. So, like,
Sure.
I mean, like, you wouldn't tell me because you said you don't talk about what's in the Orion bedroom, and
Right.
stuff, but like, because I don't know what you are. Are you top, bottom? Like, I mean, would you be picking me up, or would I be picking you up?
There are women that pick up men, and there are men that pick up women. I don't think there has to be any rules set in stone.
Can I would love to interview one of your boyfriends or somebody that I'm just being honest, Robin. You're not giving me any details about because I had a feeling I didn't know, like, because I'm big into wrestling and stuff. I don't know.
Oh,
like,
are you? Great.
if you're playing up the gimmick and stuff, but you're not giving me any details about being a gay man. And I'm not trying to like call you out and say you're not gay and stuff, but gimmick, like, are you running a gimmick and stuff?
No, I can assure you it's definitely no gimmick.
So there's
no character actor that commits this hard.
What's the name of the last guy you dated?
Mr. X, Robin Mr. X.
Oh, well. See, this is what I mean. You got to understand. Okay. I'm sorry. Hopefully, I didn't offend you. You said
no, not at all.
And stuff.
No.
Like you're not giving me any details about your gay lifestyle. And stuff.
It's no different than your lifestyle.
No, I know that it's not.
There's just more chest hair. That's all. It's no different.
Trying to help people understand the lifestyle. Like, I support it and stuff. I would love to get firsthand account of what it's like being a gay man, so some of the bigotry that's in the South here would be able to know.
Well, that's actually one of the big things I talk about on my show. I am on that alt tech, which started for conservatives to have a place to say whatever they wanted.
Are you a conservative?
I'm more of a libertarian, being honest. But those spaces started for conservatives to say whatever they want. I am probably the first openly gay comedian to exist on those platforms. And it kind of is proving that, gay people are just like anybody else. That's really what it is. I mean, to talk about the lifestyle, it's no different than yours, Tuddle. Except you've got a nicer microphone than I do.
I mean, look. I mean, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, man, how much easier would it be to be a gay man? Like,
not easier.
No, I mean, like, seriously. I mean, I can't help what I am. I'm very heterosexual, but like, I'm looking at it like I wouldn't have to worry about, doing things I didn't like, sit and watch the ball game, maybe stuff like that. I'm just saying.
Well, look, the best way to describe being gay is it's kind of like having a friend. It's a little bit different than having a woman as a partner. Because when you have a man as a partner, it's true. You can enjoy the ball game a little bit more. You can do this and that without, going shopping all the time, which is a pain.
What was the first name of the guy you kissed?
I gotta have some things of my own. That's the one thing I don't discuss on my show.
I mean, your profile. Look, I'm not trying to call you out and stuff, but you said you don't get shocked or you don't get offended.
I don't. It's true. I don't get offended.
Why don't you talk about this?
I am talking about it. I'm telling you that the lifestyle is the same as yours, and that's the truth.
All right.
I'd love to break the stereotype. I watched a makeup commercial. It came on TV about a month ago, and there was a guy with long fake nails, and he's wearing all the makeup. It's like, no, that's not what gay people are. No. So that's my mission, really, is to separate the gays you see on TV and remind you that gays look like me and act like me.
You have not convinced me yet, Robin. I'm sorry. I really think that you're You're claiming to be a gay man for shock value.
For shock value, it's not shocking anymore. If it was 1970, it would be shocking. It's not shocking anymore.
I'm just being honest with you, Robin. Like, you're not giving me any details. Like, I thought from the beginning, I was like, yeah. And then you kept bringing up the leopard shirt and stuff, and I'm just, somebody that really was a gay man and stuff could like give me a little bit of details without giving too many details that would be outing people and stuff. And I'm just being upfront and just saying,
And as am
be honest
I.
with me if it is.
No, it's absolutely not a gimmick. I can confirm to you. If you come up to Maine, I will show you it's not a gimmick.
I don't know, man. Like, I've worked with a lot of shock jocks and people that, do gimmicks and stuff. I worked with Bubba the Love Sponge. I'm not saying he's a great broadcaster and stuff, but let me just being honest. Like, the reason why, like, I'm calling it a question, why wear sunglasses during an interview?
Oh, I always wear the sunglasses. Always. The reason why is super small room. You can see the ceilings in here. I live in 3 rooms in northern Maine, and this whole room is my podcasting area. I've got 6 lamps in here. It's blinding. I'm sweating underneath the leopard shirt.
I live in Florida. It's called the Sunshine State.
I know, it's a lot. Up here, 50 degrees, I start sweating. I can't handle it. 50 degrees, that's my cutoff. 36 degrees is when I start wearing a t-shirt.
I'm sorry. I had to stop that interview. Twisted Movies is right. And I try to get him to kind of be confrontational towards me. No, Iggy. That's why I kept calling it out. Everything about that guy is fake as fuck. Like, and I know some people are going to probably think I'm being a dick for doubting his gayness and stuff. That's not it. The reason why I was calling him out was I asked him plenty of questions about his lifestyle. I wasn't trying to pry. I was trying to ask him certain details. Because guess what? I was trying to get him to think on his feet, and he proved me right by my intuition. Because every time I asked him details, if he really was a gay man, it's a gimmick. Thank you, Vulture. It is a goddamn gimmick. And I know that some people are going to be pissed because I question his sexuality. That guy is not a gay man. He is a wannabe shock jock hack wanting to be on the radio. The voice was fake. Sunglasses. Even back in the day where Bubba actually tried to put on the character where like he was bawling when he was rocking Bubba Clem. He stopped wearing sunglasses. This guy, he kept bringing up the leopard print shirt. I worked with Fez Whatley. That guy worked so well, I didn't know if he was really gay or not. And then to hear him finally come out, I was proud of him. And I believed him. But that's how great of a worker Fez Whatley was. He was a big wrestling fan. He loved to be able to put on a gimmick. And when he came out, I was like, good for him. But you just couldn't tell because he was that good of a broadcaster. The guy could not give me any details. I was like, what's the name of your last boyfriend? No, he gave me like Thomas X. You want to know why he gave me Thomas X? Because he's not great on his feet. He's not creative. And that's why he just went to something simple. And you don't pause. You don't hesitate when you're trying to sell something. I know this isn't good for me to admit, but being a broadcaster has made me a better liar. I can't believe I just said that because there's any women that are listening to the show right now would be like, oh, why I want to date him. He just knows how to lie. No, I just know how to think on my feet. I've never been able to understand why some people just can't do that. I don't know if it's because of education or the way that they were raised or some type of childhood trauma and stuff that you just don't think well on your feet. But come on, man. I didn't buy that. I sniffed that out immediately. And I'm trying to be a kinder person. And that's the thing about it is I can't say what I really want to say because of some of the platforms that I'm on. So it's not like I can just be 100% Dick Tuddle because I could have been. But also at the same time, I could not like go overboard because people would call me out. Twisted Movies. Why can't I subscribe to you on here, Tuds? I don't know, Twisted Movies. I have to look that up. I mean, I think you're on Twitch. But I mean, I see people subscribing all the time. Maybe my producer Vulture is in the chat room right now. Maybe he can help you out and try to figure that out. If you guys would like to call in, I would definitely like your feedback. I would like to hear from you on the phones, 407-270-3044. You can email me, Tuddle@gmail.com. Speaking of people wanting to do things for clout, I think TikTok has made it even worse. I mean, I'm not one of those people that are blaming it. Oh, we gotta do something. No, it's free speech. But some of the stuff that some of these people do, it's like, why are you doing this? Somebody that's committing crimes and stuff, they don't film themselves doing it, so there's evidence.
It's very dangerous. The car went
people,
airborne.
Knew that they were going to get caught. Now with all the video cameras and stuff, everybody having a Ring doorbell. Why would you even do something like this? But you know how out in California, because Florida is one of the flattest places, the flattest states in the United States. So we really don't know what it is when it comes to hills. But this was out in California. And you guys have all seen those like cop movies where they're doing the car scene chases and they go over the big hills and you see them jumping. You're like, oh man, is that even possible? Well, this social media influencer proved that it is possible because he went and rented a Tesla and completely destroyed it.
Jory and Veronica, it really was very dangerous. The car went airborne in this intersection and then...
I'm sorry. I don't want to feed into the hype, but I got to tell you, this was pretty badass. Like Trace would have been all for this. Tom Van, aka Drunky the Bear, back in the day would have done something like this because this was pretty goddamn cool.
When careening down this very steep hill before crashing. Now tonight, the LAPD says it has identified a person of interest after receiving numerous tips based on that person's social media postings.
That looks like something straight out of Grand Theft Auto. Look at this. Look at this. I got to tell you, Elon makes them with some horsepower because look at the air this guy got in a Tesla. Wow. And I guarantee you that Teslas probably don't have the best suspension and shock package.
Cameras were rolling when a Tesla flew through the air in this Echo Park neighborhood, but this was not a stunt for...
Look at how many people were out. Look at this. These dumbasses. Look at the car come flying by. Look at this.
This was not a...
Look. That looks like some stuff straight out of a movie. Yeah, that's an easy way to lose $100,000. And how much gas were they burning? I know, but look at this.
Stunt for a Hollywood film, it ended with a violent collision. The car slamming into parked vehicles. Residents along the street heard a loud crash around midnight.
I opened up the door to look out.
These are all white hipsters. But the people that did this are all nerd white boys, too. Could have killed somebody.
Outside, and there was a headlight right next to my front door. And then I went out onto the road, and there was just broken up garbage pails strewn everywhere.
Look at that debris field.
When I got out here, everybody had left, and there was just an abandoned Tesla still turned on.
Could you imagine, in California, this dude right here, this guy right here, look at this guy.
Smash.
This guy right here smokes weed. I know. I Twisted movie. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, fuck, it's not a hybrid. Teslas are all electric. I know. I'm a dumbass. But this guy looks like a California person that smokes a lot of weed and probably takes mushrooms. Could you imagine if you smoked a bunch of weed and were tripping and you were at the bottom of this hill and you just see a Tesla fall out of the sky? Yeah, I would. That would be a bad trip or a really cool one.
In the back of my car, but the neighbors immediately started showing me videos of several Teslas that came.
Now look at this. This is doorbell ring footage and people that just came out of their house. This is how you know how set up this was. They were prepared. They had another car. And the thing is that I don't understand. Like, did they use a fake ID to rent that Tesla? Because even if you got insurance, I don't think having video evidence of what you did will be covered by insurance. It's not going to happen.
Down the hill following the one that jumped and crashed, and they piled out of that.
By the way, I think that is another Tesla that they got into.
That car on video, carrying all their stuff.
Let me ask you, just like my last guest, I really don't believe anything that I see anymore on social media or the news. What if Elon, this is some marketing scheme. What if Elon was like, found some social media influencer and was like, hey, Iggy T, Pilates. Can't you do Pilates while listening? Thanks, Iggy T. But what if Elon Musk went to social media influencers like, hey, what I got to pay you to wreck the hell out of a Tesla and jump it like you're the Dukes of Hazzard?
According to neighbors,
it could easily happen.
Passengers in the wrecked Tesla got out and abandoned
airbags opened up,
jumping into another car with men who had been recording the stunt and leaving. Viral videos of the flying Tesla have been posted online.
I swear to God, I cannot get over that video, though. Look at that. It's like something out of Back to the Future.
Flying Tesla have been posted online. The LAPD has distributed.
I got to tell you, I bet, all these kids were young and stuff. Bet some of them were a little sore because that did not look like a soft landing.
The flying Tesla have been posted online. The LAPD has distributed the video as part of its criminal investigation. The stretch of Baxter Street is very steep.
I mean, that's ridiculous. I would never live on a hill like this, but maybe people are just used to it. Because Florida's so flat here, but my God, look at that.
And residents say they've seen other drivers and skateboarders.
From that angle right there, look at how the nose. I think the nose of the car. This thing was like nose down. Look at that shot right there of that car. That nose is pointing straight down.
Seen other drivers and skateboarders perform risky stunts. Police are investigating the incident as a misdemeanor hit and run.
Oh.
But residents say this stunt could have caused serious injury.
It was just super dangerous, and for them and for us, we live right here, so the car.
Is everybody in California that the news interviewed just high? I mean, I'm not judging. Kind of jealous.
Easily could have slid into our property.
What's up with this reporter's hair? Is this a reporter from the past? I came from the 80s and was like, hey, I want to cover this story.
The owner of one of those cars that was damaged says his car is so badly damaged that it's not drivable. Friends have started a GoFundMe account to support him.
Everybody's got to start a GoFundMe. Whatever. I got one more story, and I want to find an expert because I've been finding a lot of dog stories and stuff. I want to find somebody that is good with animals, that maybe might be a trainer and stuff. But I think this is horrible, and this is why I want to have a dog or an animal expert on, a trainer or something. Because even I know, as not somebody that has studied animals or anything like that, know that male dogs hump other dogs, not because they're gay, but because they're trying to show dominance. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, that's what I was taught growing up. And I'm an animal lover and stuff. And this is why I think it's completely wrong. But this scumbag owner adopted this dog. By the way, this owner, and I'm not going to blow it. I'll get to that when it gets to it in the story. But the owner, like, dropped off the dog. I don't even know if this is an old story or not. But this guy dropped off the dog because he said it was gay because he saw it humping. Oh, here we go. Hello, Tuddle Daily Podcast.
Jesus, God, you're still in the air? Or you're still hanging out? What's going on here?
I don't know. Who's this?
My name's, we'll say Pretty Birds from here.
What up, Pretty
Daniel.
Bird?
Hey, beautiful. Thank you. What's up, man? Tuddle, I've been, I wouldn't say a fan because that would be a lie.
Okay, go ahead. I can already tell that this phone call is going in a direction.
I've been listening to you. I was listening to Drew Garabo back when they were doing the broadcast of everything back in the day. I grew up on real radio, and you are like my illegitimate, retarded cousin or what have you. No dirty words, but I do. Not only do I understand what you've been doing, but I have respect for it. And I don't like Howard Stern, but I have respect for you. So you can throw me whichever way under the bus.
No. I mean, I was just trying to find out. Like, I mean, a lot of the things that you said in the phone call. And look, I love to have people that hate me or disagree with me and stuff. But a lot of your comments, were very backhanded. I
disagree with you because I need you to understand all of the facts.
All right, please explain.
You understand most of anything, but you got to see the whole picture. And when I look at you, I say, hey, I was going to help out this person. I was going to help. Who do I want to help out?
Mm-hmm.
Tuddle.
Okay.
But there's a reason for that. And you know what the reason is?
What's that?
I don't give a fuck.
I'm trying to figure out who this is. This voice sounds kind of familiar.
I get a lot of that from a lot of people, but you know what? I ain't the one, son. There are a lot of people looking for me, and that's an okay thing.
Wait. Give me a hint. Like, your voice is kind of driving me a little crazy, and like,
ain't gonna happen. I'm one and the only. I'm the one and the only. There's a reason why I'm the one and the only. Because when you actually hear me talk, I go full bore.
Okay, but see that
I'm not a.
I see. I'm looking at the area code here, trying to figure it out.
Tuds, you're not gonna get it. Trust
have
me,
we ever met? Have we ever met?
I'm not that.
Have we ever met?
Not whoever you. No. I'm clean. I'm clean.
So why wouldn't you? Why?
Yeah.
Wait. What does that mean? I'm clean.
Well, it means I'm not part of your fucking radio world.
So you think I'm a bad guy?
People have tried to get a hold of me because of who I am, because of my voice, and because of everything. But then I ignore them. I tell them to fuck off.
Okay. So
you can hear my beautiful voice, can't you, Tuddle?
Yeah, but are you a fan of mine or are you a hater?
What the fuck? I'm neither. I just told you that. Tuddle, I've been listening to you since listening to you. Whatever.
I think I just figured it out. I just figured it out. Radio. I figured it out. I know who this is.
No, it's not true. You know that's not. Listen, You have no idea. I've never called into a damn radio show in my life. Who am I then?
And
Who am I?
this sounds a lot like Stone Joy Logano a little bit.
That is Stone Joy. Like, what the fuck? That is amazing.
If it is, I love you. I love you. I love you if this is Joy.
It's not.
If it is.
I don't know. Stone Joy Logano is.
Right.
God damn. This is why fucking everything is wrong with the media these days. You think I'm Stone Joy? I got accused. I tell you what. I got a little bit of a following, and I had to run away from it because I don't like getting accused of being other people. What the fuck?
Well, give me
What the fuck?
No, you gotta give me a
I'm
hint.
just me.
This voice, I can tell you're putting on a little bit of a voice, and it sounds very familiar. And I'm trying to figure out who this is. It's windy wherever you're at, so I think you're near the coast.
You're fucking going. You're going out. I don't know if it's my phone or yours. Like
it's yours. I'm in
voice.
I'm in a room right now with that.
I'm trying to walk into my yard to hear you again.
See, I thought this was Stone Joy Logano, but I don't think it is. It's a little deeper.
Over the head with the goddamn microphone. Oh, I can't hear anything that you're saying, Tuddle.
Are you on social media?
Or is it me? I'm trying to walk out into the field.
Are you on social media? Oh, you're in a field, so you're.
You, man.
You're kind of white trash.
Oh my God, I live in the fucking wilderness out here, Tuds. It isn't a goddamn joke. Man.
I'm starting to hear a little bit of
a joke. Hey, you want to hear the parrots?
I'm hearing a little bit of a
parrots.
Canadian.
I got fucking shit. All right, whatever. Here, I'm gonna call you. Do you have an email address or something I can contact you at?
Yeah, Tuddle.
I'd really like to get this ball rolling.
All right, call me Tuddle.
I like to roll balls. My favorite thing is to roll giant balls.
Email me tuddle@gmail.com. I think that might have been Robin Orion. I don't know. Yeah, it did seem like a northern voice. Anyways, let me get back into the gay dog.
Tonight, a local dog shelter a local shelter.
Can I tell you, I'm just being upfront with you. I thought that this story was like fake and they put like the station's call letters up there because this guy, the way he stumbled out of the box, I was like, this is like a jobber newscaster. But Drew Bolea and Morgan, they're both broadcasters at WCCB.
Tonight, a local dog shelter, a local shelter dog, rather, is looking for a soft landing after being dumped by his owners because they say he's gay.
Thought you heard it all, right?
Now, if you hate gay dogs, does that make you a homophobe? Like, do you automatically hate gay people if you hate gay dogs, or do you just have something about gay dogs?
Stanley County Animal Shelter Facebook post says the dog's owner surrendered him to the shelter after he humped another male dog.
That is normal for a male dog to do that to another male dog. I'm sorry. That's why I want to talk to an expert. I mean, you look at it, they're just trying to show their dominance. And it happens in the animal kingdom. Hell, look at it. It even happens in jail. Men hump other men, and they might not be gay, but guess what? They do it to show their dominance. So, this guy's a complete scumbag. He is.
Dogs do. Fezco, the shelter says, it's about 4 to 5 years old, weighs about 50 pounds. They say he likes other people. He likes other animals. He's a good boy. The shelter is asking for local rescues to step up and take Fezco.
I would love. Oh, this is the other thing. I swear to God, if I was in North Carolina, I would adopt this gay dog immediately. I would adopt this gay dog immediately. And like I said, the name of this dog, I don't know if this is what the owner named the dog or when it got adopted, they named the dog this. But whoever named this dog is a Euphoria fan. Euphoria on HBO. Because they named the dog Fezco.
Step up and take Fezco into foster before he is adopted.
Fezco is one of the greatest characters on Euphoria. He's a drug dealer. Everybody goes to Fezco. Fezco is the most wise, knowledgeable guy on that show. Yeah, whoever named this dog is definitely a Euphoria HBO fan.
Before he is adopted. local county shelters across our area, Drew, they do so much work with such little resources. Any way that we can help ease the burden, step in and pull animals out and get them into.
Man, these broadcasters, I'm sorry, you would think Charlotte would have better quality broadcasters, but my God, that is bad.
To foster or adopt them really helps.
And that guy looks like he's going to find a new home real quick.
All right. Anyways, I'm sure Drew and Morgan are nice people, but I swear to God, can we look into that vulture? I'd be willing to go on a road trip to adopt Fezco the gay dog. I would love Fezco the gay dog. Huh. Anyways, guys, gonna get out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Make sure you go to my all my social media, twitter.com/Tuddle, facebook.com/Tuddle, instagram.com/Tuddle, just everything Tuddle. Tuddle with 2 Ds, Tuddle. And if you want to get a hold of me, leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044, or you can leave me an email, tuddle@gmail.com. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. Hopefully you guys stay safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.